Today is Sunday, November 21st, 2021, and I haven't heard from my therapist, my psychologist, in like 6 weeks or so. And yesterday I ran into another therapist at the YMCA and I asked her, I said, is it normal for a psychologist or a therapist to just ghost essentially their client? And she was like, no, that's not really normal. And then I realized after discussing with someone last night over some commentary, I was being stalked by a crackhead over at the gas station and then over at the YMCA because I had tried to tell him about God and was just telling him try to get on a better path. And he ended up stalking me and I had to file a police report against it. His name was Rusty Cross. Okay, so when I was relaying this information to my psychologist one day, and I didn't get this on recording, obviously, because you would have had it in the file of my interactions with my therapist, he told me, he said, well, maybe he was an angel. An angel that does meth? I don't know about all that. I know people can have heightened states of awareness when they're under some type of drug abuse and everything, but I just don't trust that somebody's not gonna try to rape and kill me, you know? So I haven't talked to the man, my psychologist, Dr. Martian Carroll, in 6 weeks, and I haven't reached out because I have an avoidant behavior disorder. So I have not approached the situation. I saw him come in and out of the YMCA, and I just try to avoid people. The woman who had invited me, this is also a follow-up video from what had happened that day when I said I was invited to stay at a nice place for a while. This woman snapped on her roommate and called the police and told the police that the woman had physically assaulted her, and that didn't happen. I was there and I tried to video it, but stupid storage is always full on my iPhone, always telling me that, so it cuts it off the videos at a certain point because it's too full. So it's frustrating for me because I want to relay what I've seen, what the issues that I've seen in mental health. The woman, I stayed with her for 2 days and she wanted me to move in and take the place of her roommate. And I told her, I said, I don't have money for that. I'm not sure what you're talking about. I was like, you allowed me, you said that I could, just come and crash with you for a little bit. And all I did was call her to do my laundry. So I came over to do my laundry and she started telling people that I was her assistant at first. I was only there for approximately 48 hours. And then we were driving around and I didn't want to use her things. I didn't want to touch her belongings. I didn't want to touch her debit card. And she gave me the PIN numbers and all these access codes and her, passwords and things. And I said, I pray to God she's not allowing other people to access this information for her. Thank God I'm a genuine human being and would never take advantage of someone like that or in a heightened state of psychosis like that. Because in my life, I know maybe in the past I was not as self-aware, but I realize now, I tried to help this woman and then she started telling the officers that I was her caregiver. And we never signed paperwork for that. Neither did the roommate for living in her space. So she screwed the woman over by a bunch of money because she paid up until December 1st, this poor woman. And I'm thinking, if that's her temperament to do these things, and the roommate warned me, she was like, she's very bipolar, she does these things. And I was like, I don't think it's bipolarism. I think it's early onsets of dementia, or she had mentioned her son had been diagnosed with schizophrenia. So, it does sometimes run in families, chemistry of the brain, such, things like that. So anyway, I got away from that situation immediately when I started noticing these signs, and she messaged me, and I've been very avoidant. I do not want to discuss things that hurt me emotionally. So I'm on my way over to a 3-year-old's birthday party, but it's a little boy, so it's not as painful as if it were a little girl's birthday party for me emotionally, because all the trauma I've sustained in my life. So, and I just want to capture this beforehand because I'm thinking, you never know what happens. And I just want to get my information out there and relay that I'm still doing fine, but at the same time, I'm trying not to take anybody up on their offers, even the people that I've known, acquaintances that I've known here and there through the gyms that I've frequented. And I'm thinking, are you crazy? Like, first of all, this and this and this, I can't even deal with it. I can't deal with it. I'm like, I don't know where I got to be such a good human sometimes and so honest. But at the same token, I know that this woman was that vindictive and spiteful that she might even do something like to say that I stole from her. And I never stole from her. She offered me $100 and I was like, I don't want this. And she was like, well, you're going to do work for me. The therapy that I did within 24 hours with that woman and tried to pick up the pieces of her scheduling and yada yada, talk to someone. I was in the midst of talking to someone's daughter he's an attorney or something like that on the phone when I had to call the police. During that instance, I'm horrified. From that post-traumatic stress, that emotional trauma, I should be paid for that time with the woman. You know, I'm thinking like, whoa, for real. So I went all day, like 3 days when I was around this woman that I didn't shower because I was so caught up in trying to fix the pieces of her life that I couldn't even sustain my own. And I realized that that's what happens with me, is that I'm so helpful and giving, and I enable people to become monsters in that way. And I was like, whoa, I can't believe people take advantage of others. Like, I know I'm overly caring because I never received that as a child. I was neglected quite often, especially being the middle child and being a girl.